Yeah. Morning all. Like, so myself, I'm Vijay. I hold like 17 plus years of experience, which includes nearly 8 plus years of experience in Python environment. So my experience includes design, development, and implementation of Python and Django based applications. So well versed in implementing different Python libraries like NumPy, CP, Pandas, PyTables, Matplotlib, URLlib, right? Experience in implementing large scale business critical systems using object oriented design and programming, and developing varieties of web applications implementing MVT architecture using server side applications, right? So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not, right? Yes.
Yes,
Fine. Fine. Thank you. Yes. So as part of today's demo, I'll cover the following topics. Why Python? Why Python, right? Python is not a kind of technology which is very recently introduced. It was introduced 30 years ago, right? In the year 1989. But all of a sudden, why Python has got a great boom? Reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular, right? And who can learn Python? Who can learn Python, right? Yes. What are the prerequisites for learning Python? There is no prerequisites for learning Python. Anyone can update with Python, as the Python statements looks like normal English statements. And you need to know how Python was built. I'll be briefing you about all this. How Python was built. What kind of applications we can develop today by using Python? Mostly Python is used for developing what kind of applications? Python real-time applications, right? Yes. Okay. And who are using today? Who are using Python, right? Python usage. Python uses, the companies using Python, and the applications, topmost applications built by using Python. And what are the features of Python which we won't see in other programming language, right? The special features of Python features. Python comparison with other programming language, right? Python comparison, right? With other programming, right? Yes. Coding wise, you can check, length wise, you can check, complexity wise, you can check how simple this Python statements look as compared with other programming. And reasons which makes yes.
hello.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I can see only the partial thing. So can you just zoom in the complete one so that I can see the full screen?
Full screen. Are you able to see my full screen or not, everyone?
No, I cannot see your full screen. Okay.
Yes, sir, I can able to see your screen.
It is already. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Reasons which make, yeah. Reasons which makes, reasons why Python is suddenly super popular. Reasons why Python is suddenly super popular. And mostly like Python scope and job market, right? Python scope and job market means we should also come to know, right, what is the scope of Python in the coming years, and what is the current job market. Yes. So this is what I'll be discussing in today's next tomorrow session, right? So why Python? Coming to this, right? Why Python? Already we have got many programming languages, right? Why again Python required? So I define Python in 5 lines. So Python is a general purpose programming. It's a general purpose programming, right? Multi programming features, right? It has got multi programming features. I'll just brief one by one, right? Multi programming features. High level language. It's a high level language. It is an interpreted language. It's not compiled. It is an interpreted language. User-friendly programming, right? User-friendly programming. Okay. Coming to this first, general purpose programming. General purpose programming means like if we got some programming languages. If you heard about these programming languages like Pascal, Fortran, COBOL, right? So there were some programming languages like Pascal, the language like Fortran, COBOL, right? Yes, these programming languages, these are purpose based. These are not for all the purposes. These are purpose based languages. Means for a particular purpose. Pascal for developing scientific applications, and Fortran for complicated mathematical applications. COBOL for business applications. Means they are used for a specific purpose, not for all the purposes, right? But a language which is suitable for developing any kind of application, such a language we call it as general purpose programming language. So Python is such a kind of programming, right, where we can develop any kind of application. It is not purpose based. Means today we can develop automation applications using Python, web applications, networking applications, gaming applications, embedded applications, desktop applications. In this way, like wide varieties of applications can be developed using Python. And also like Python is the mostly chosen language today for implementing different domains of different high-end technologies, right? Like data science with Python, big data with Python, writing automation scripts in DevOps, right? In IoT or in robotics, right? Right. So it's a general purpose programming. It's not for a particular purpose, or it's not purpose based, right? And multi-programming features, right? Multi-programming features. If I give a labor example, if you want to launch a new product into the market, right? For example, think you want to just launch a new mobile phone into the market to attract the customers, right? What features you want to see within that mobile, right? What all the features we see in different other mobiles, all the features, if you are embedding into a single piece, right, it attracts the customer, right? In the same manner, Python is a kind of programming where we see the features of different other programming languages within it. Like scripting features we see, object oriented features we see, procedural oriented features we see, modular programming features we see, right? Later I'll brief you about all this. So what all the programming languages features we see, all those features we see in Python. That's why we call Python as a hybrid language. Python is a hybrid language because of multi-programming features. And it's a high-level language. Python is a high-level language. There are two types of languages I can say. Two types of languages. First one, low-level language and high-level language. Low-level languages and high-level languages. Secondly, like high-level languages. What is the difference between this high-level and low-level languages, right? Example of low-level languages like assembly level language or machine level language, right? Yes. Assembly level language or machine level languages, these languages mainly they are not human understandable. Mainly they are not human understandable. And secondly, they are not portable. They are not portable, right? Yes. And machine dependent. They cannot run on all the hardwares and all the operating system. Machine dependent, right? Not human understandable. They are not portable. They are machine dependent. They cannot run on all the hardwares and all the operating system. But Python is a high level language, right? Yes. So it's human understandable. The statements looks like normal English statements, right? Yes. One second. Yeah. So they are human understandable, right? They are portable and machine independent, can run on all the hardwares and all the operating systems. Human understandable, they are portable and machine independent. Machine independent, right? Can run on all the hardwares and all the operating system. Okay. So Python is a general purpose programming language. It's a high level language and multi-programming features we have seen. Interpreted language. Python is an interpreted language, right? So we have got compilation languages and interpretation languages. Python comes as an interpretation. See, compilation, interpretation. Example of compilation, C language. Interpretation, example like Python. So if I talk about this compilation language, if I got some lines of code, I got some 10 lines of code, it executes all the 10 lines and it displays the errors, if any. It executes all the 10 lines, right? Even though there are errors in the program code, it will execute all the lines and displays the errors. But in case of Python, interpretation, line by line execution, which makes debugging easy, right? So if you got error in this particular line, it won't execute the remaining lines, right? So line by line execution we are going to see in Python, which makes debugging easy, right? And user-friendly programming or programmer-friendly programming language, which provides simple syntaxes. The syntaxes of Python looks like normal English statements, right? Yes. Okay, coming to this, right? Python has got multi-programming features. Python has taken some advantages from one programming. It has taken some other advantages from other programming. In this way, from multiple programming languages, it has taken the advantages, right? So from which programming languages it has taken the features? So Python has got what programming features, right? Yes, Python has procedural oriented programming features. Python has procedural oriented programming, right? It has got procedural oriented programming features, right? Example like C language, right? It has got the features, right? It has got the features of object oriented programming, right? Object oriented programming features, right? Example like C++ and even Java. Scripting. Python has got scripting features. Has got scripting features, right? Like example like Linux shell script, right? Shell script. It has got modular programming features, like modular programming. Modular programming features. Example like Modular 3. Okay, fine. That's got procedural oriented programming, object oriented programming, scripting, and modular programming. That's why we call Python as a hybrid language. Just like C language, C++, Java, like Modular 3, we can develop very many varieties of applications, right? Yes. So as part of our course, we'll be discussing all this, right? Python with procedural oriented, object oriented, scripting, and modular, right? So if we talk about the programming language like Java, right? The Java programmers or developers are strictly restricted to use only object-oriented programming. But Python with object-oriented, without object-oriented, with procedural-oriented, and with modular programming, we can develop many varieties of applications, right? Yes. So if I talk about the two major programming languages today used in the industry, right? For enterprise application development, right? Java and Python, right? So if you go back like in the year 2010, in 2010, right? Yes. If you see Java is mostly used in the industry with 43% of usage among all the programming languages. 43% Java is used in the year 2010, right? Most of them are not aware that there was a programming language like Python. Only 3% used in the industry, but later, 10 years later, 2020, from the last 3-4 years, right? The usage of Python has increased a lot, right? If you compare like with Java, right? Yes, if we talk about the talk of the town like data science, machine learning, right? Total implementation in Python. Java is never preferred, so it is decreased to 19%, right? And Python usage has increased. I'll show you some graphs. I'll open Google and show you some graphs within this Google, like the which programming language is mostly used today, the percentage of usage of each programming language. So Python is 31% used, right? So year by year, the usage of Python is increasing as it is mostly used in different high-end technologies as an implementation language. Talk about this scripting, right? Like we are using like automation scripts. Python scripts are used for this automation, like in IoT, in robotics, or in DevOps environment, right? And also like modular programming. Python has got great boom today because of this modular programming. Nearly 89,300 inbuilt modules Python is providing for different domains, right? Providing right for different domains. Okay, whatever domain you are from, right? Whatever domain you are from, Python is providing a module. If you're from data science background, right? Python providing a module for data science, like nearly 10 to 15 modules. Python like NumPy, CP, Pandas, Matplotlib, CP, Scikit-learn, right? Even for big data environment, for networking environment, for testing environment, whatever domain you are from, Python provides a module for testing, for animations. For each and every database, Python provides a module using which we can connect it to the database Python. So just it's not as complex like other programming, just like 1 minute discussion is enough, right? Python connecting with a database, just the module is enough, username, password. And for working with any, see, just by writing some Python code and executing the code, right? Go and check in the database, your table gets created. And by executing the Python code itself, I can insert data into a database. I can remove data from the database. Similarly, I can create different types of files, Excel files, write a Python code to create an Excel file, write a Python code to create a PDF file, CSV file, JSON files, right? So by writing the code itself, right, go and check with whatever location or the file name you have provided. With that file name at that location, right, Excel workbook or Excel file gets created. Later, I can, by writing Python code itself, I can create sheets within the Excel workbook. And into the second sheet, if I want to insert data, I can, from the third sheet, if I want to read data, I can perform all these operations, right? Similarly, creating PDF files, reading from PDF, writing into PDF, all this, any types of files, Python can read and write, right? Yes. And coming to this, right, what kind of applications are getting developed today by using Python? Python mostly used for developing what kind of applications, right? Python real-time applications, right? Before you update with any technology, you need to have the idea what kind of applications are mainly developed. Python real-time applications, right? Yes. So if you talk like today, Python mostly used in creation of web applications, right? Web applications, right? You may ask, you may get a query. From the last 20-25 years, Java, .NET, all this, they are mostly used for developing web applications. Now, why again Python? Means Python has got some framework like Django framework. We have got Django is there, Flask, Pyramid, Bottle, Turbo Gear. Among all this, Django framework is the mostly used framework. And at a rapid speed, you can develop a web application, right? And it has got its own database also, like SQLite 3. And with very less coding, right? Application we can develop with very less coding at a rapid speed, and everything The py files, Python files are already available. We don't need to write huge codings. Many flexible features provided by Django framework. Django is a framework of Python for developing web applications, interactive applications, right? Yes. Apart from this, Python is mostly used today for automation applications. Automation applications, right? Using technologies like data science, using technologies like IoT, and using technologies like DevOps, right? So a lot of automation applications are developed, right? If we talk about this IoT, Internet of Things, right? So Internet of Things. So today everything through internet, right? Everything through online banking, online shopping, online exams, online education, e-learning, online banking, right? Online business, e-commerce, online communication like audio, video, chat, right? Online gaming, online healthcare, right? So everything through online. So I can say IoT is a physical network or device embedded with electronics, software, sensors, and network connectivity. It is used for collecting data, exchanging data, and controlling the things from the place where we are, right? So in the coming days, we are going to see a lot of automation applications, right? Controlling the things from the place where we are. Means in a simple way, IoT connects the devices, means connecting the devices, different devices connecting and communicating with each other, right? Yes. So the implementation, like you should have seen like smartphones, smart TVs. You are going to see like smart homes and smart cities, right? So the coding, 90% of the coding done in Python. Okay, so here the coding, right? Implementation part in Python. If you talk about this data science, so for data or data science, right? For data analysis, data predictions, data classifications, data recommendations, right? For all, it's a blend of technique. Data science is a blend of technique. The main technique what we see here is ML, machine learning. Machine learning itself, the name itself saying like we are making the machine to learn or predict by providing many training algorithms, right? So we have got many algorithms, right? Many techniques, right? Regression techniques, classification, clustering, recommendations, pattern matchings, right? So for all these techniques to implement, you require a language. To implement or to code, you require a language. So Python is the mostly chosen programming language for implementing all this machine learning, deep learning, artificial intelligence, all these techniques, right? Implemented using Python, as Python providing different modules for plottings, visualizations, right? Apart from this, Python is mostly also used within this DevOps environment. Not only this, it has got it serves as a Python acts or serves as a remedy to any problem in the IT industry. When it comes to DevOps, right, the ultimate goal is to reduce the time taken in the life cycle to improve the efficiency, right? As we see the life cycle like requirement gathering, system design, system implementation, system testing, system deployment, system maintenance, right? So in DevOps, Python is one of the best scripting language with vast variety of Python libraries, which where Python allows to write the scripts for the improved development life cycle, right? So in this, in automation applications, Python is mostly preferred. And one more big area, right? Like a big data environment. In big data, right? If we talk like, I'll just take a minute, right? Where exactly Python is used in big data. Today, if we see data storage units like KBs of data, MB of data, gigabytes, terabytes, petabytes, exabytes, zettabytes, rotabytes, so on, right? Yes. From TB onwards, right? We say like huge data, big data, right? 1 petabyte equal to 1024 TBs. Already 1 TB is a large storage unit. So 1024 TBs forms a petabyte. Do you think like petabytes or exabytes of data, is it getting generated in the current world means? Yes. Petabytes of data generated means yes, right? Examples of petabytes of data generation means, right? If you talk about the social media like Facebook, right? millions and trillions of users for Facebook, right? In a minute, how many posts and videos are circulated? Each and every post and video has to be stored, right? So data generated by Facebook, it won't be in MBs or GBs, right? Petabytes of data. Not only that, Facebook, right? Today, if you see, many applications are generating data in petabytes. If I take just 1 minute transaction, just if I take 1 minute transaction, right? Data is generated in petabytes. What is the data generated by Facebook in a minute, right? Data generated by Twitter tweets, like talk about like everyone querying in the Google, that data generated by Google in a minute. Or if you talk everyone creating your own videos and uploading in the YouTube, right? YouTube videos upload. Millions and trillions of users using email or Gmail messages, right? Each and every message has to be stored. What should be the storage capacity to store all these messages? And if I talk about the bank transactions per hour, so if per day, per week, per month, each and every transaction has to be stored, right? And telecom transactions, or if I talk about e-commerce sites like Amazon, Flipkart, right? All those, you see, in this way, all most of the applications are generating huge data in petabytes, right? So we have got some big data tools available, right? Like big data Hadoop, data Spark available, right? Yes. So these languages, these are used for huge data storage and huge data processing in a quick time, right? Especially Spark has got very high speed processing, processing huge data in quick time, right? So we have got some languages like Scala, languages like Python for implementing this. So Python also mostly used in big data, like Spark with Python, like PySpark we say, right? So even in big data environment, Python is used. I'll just list out the various other applications one by one where Python is mostly preferred, right? It's mostly preferred in scientific applications, right? Or numerical analysis. So NumPy, CP are some of the modules, right? Numerical Python, scientific Python, CP, right? And Python is mostly used, right, within this graphical user interface or animations, right? Python is mostly used. We have what like TK Inter is the model we use, or PyQt is some models we use, right? Inbuilt modules. We don't need to write huge codings. And today, like Python mostly used in game development, right? Lot of games are developed, right? Lot of games are developed. Single user games, multi-user games, online games, right? Yes. Especially for game development, Python providing a framework called Pygame. It's a framework given by Python for developing games in Python. Similarly, we got like PyCara. It's another framework given by Python for developing games, and some 3D rendering libraries. Like we have got some PySoy, right? It's a 3D rendering libraries for developing 3D games. Apart from this, today like Python is used for scheduling tasks, right? For that we have got Airflow for it, and for testing or for test cases, right? Python is preferred, and even like Python is preferred even for software development. Software development, right? Yes. Means software developers make use of Python as a support language, right? We use Buildbot, Apache Gump for automated compilation and testing, Roundup Track for project management and bug tracking. So yes, apart from this, Python is mostly used even in business applications. In business applications, right? Right. Python is one of the best choice to develop e-commerce systems, right? And the Python is one of the hottest application of Python. Database applications, right? So Python can connect with any database like MySQL, Oracle, PostgreSQL, SQL Server, all these, right? We have got separate module Python provides for all this. And for network applications, network programming of a network applications, right? So Python providing a separate module, separate package, right? Like Twisted Python is a separate framework given by Python for network applications of a network programming. And for web scraping, right? Scraping data from different sites, websites, right? So with Python providing models like URL loop, beautiful soup, right? And Python is used for audio and video applications. Audio and video applications. As part of our course, I also show some of the applications we develop using Python. Like some of the audio video applications which already developed, right? Like Team Player, C Play are some of these examples, right? Apart from this, Python can also be used for not only for computer applications, even for electronics and civil environment also, right? Even like embedded applications, for embedded applications, right? So one of the famous embedded applications, the most famous embedded application, right? Raspberry Pi, which uses Python for its computation. And also in civil, right? In CAD applications, 3D CAD applications, that computer aided designing, right? Yes, it has got modules for it. And for computer vision, like color detection, face detection, object detection for these purposes, right? And even within this robotics, right? Python implementation goes in Python. And in desktop or single user applications, right? Python is preferred, right? So these are some of those applications, right? In this way, we have got many applications, right? Where Python can be used today. And these are applications development. Who are using Python? Which companies are using Python? Who are using Python today, right? And topmost applications which already built by using Python. Topmost applications built using Python. So like Google using Python, right? For its web search system. Google is one of the best example of Python web application, right? Python, okay. Like the Google's first web crawling is written in Java, right? Later it was too difficult. It was rewritten in Python. Yahoo using Python, right? YouTube using Python for its video sharing service. Uber using Python, right? Uber pricing algorithm implemented using Python. Instagram is built using Python. The prime reason for Instagram, right, to choose for Python is its efficiency and its practicality, right? So Instagram, one of the photo and video sharing social media networking. And apart from this, Python is mostly used. Some of the applications developed using Python, right? Like Quora, if you heard about Quora, Reddit, Pinterest, right? The topmost OTT platform like Netflix using Python for its security, automation, and for subscription purpose. It is using models like NumPy. Dropbox built by using Python, right? Yes. Maya, a powerful 3D animation which uses Python script. MMOG, massively multiplayer online games, right? Python is preferred, right? BitTorrent is using Python, right? For its file sharing service, right? And iRobot for military and commercial applications, right? Python is preferred, right? Apart from this, Ironport email server, right? Which uses more than 1 million lines of Python code for performing its job, right? And companies like IBM, Seagate, Qualcomm, all these, they use Python for hardware testing purpose, right? Yes. So these are some of those companies, right, who are using Python, like Google, Yahoo, YouTube, Uber, Instagram, right? Topmost applications built by using Python. And from the discussions what we had, right? Reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular, which makes Python suddenly super popular. So most of these programmers or developers, they like very less code, right? So Python is such a kind of language where we see very less code, very less code, very less coding. So which makes Python super popular means, secondly, simple syntax is given by Python. They look like normal English statements. So I'll just, in the tomorrow session, I'll be briefing you, right? Those who are from non-programming or zero programming, without any knowledge on Python, you can understand or you can analyze the Python statements. They look like normal English statement. And today, like even generating graphs using Python is very simple. Any type of graph, normal graph, bar graph, histogram, scatter plots, stack plots, pie graph, right? Generating those kind of graphs with very less coding, 3-4 lines, right? Can generate those. And multi-programming features, right? Hybrid features we are going to see in Python. And apart from this, Python has got interactive mode. Interactive mode given by Python means we can easily interact with Python statement by statement. For every statement, right, Python provides the response. For example, if you go to this search, if you type cmd to enter to the command prompt, if you type Python here, Python version will be displayed and Python interpreter will be opened, right? This is what the Python version, and this is the Python interpreter, right? 3-arrowed symbol. Any valid Python statements you can type here and you can interact with Python, right? 3 plus 5, 45 into 26, right? Any valid statements. X is 10, no need to define the data types. Y equal to 2. What is X? What is Y? What is X plus Y? What is X minus Y? In this way, I can communicate, interact with Python statement by statement. X into 2 means 10 into 2. X to the power of 2 means 10 square, 100. X equal to hello, HELLO, right? Yes. X into 3 prints hello for 3 times. X into 5 prints hello for 5 times. So in this way, any valid statements you can type and you can interact statement by statement. This kind of feature you won't see in other programmings. If you say quit to come out of it. So interactive mode given by Python. Apart from this, Python has got wide varieties of applications. What I have discussed just now, wide varieties of applications. Many built-in libraries, right? Many built-in libraries. Modules, thousands of modules it has got for various domains, functions, classes. And it's a general purpose programming. Any kind of application can be developed. Okay. So in this way, like Python has got many features. So which makes it super popular, right? And just I'll open Google and show you, right? The #1 ranked programming language from the last 2-3 years since 2020, right? If you see like the popular coding language, if I type, so popular coding language, right? 2020, say Python, right? The programming language is considered the most well-rounded among all, right? Yes. You see some images, you just see the results of it, right? Top 10 programming language, Python stands first, right? Top 10 programming, Python stands first, yes. Okay. Python stands first as the #1 rank. And even if you see ranking wise, Python rank language, and this Python is the #1 rank, Java 2, C, C++, JavaScript. Most popular programming language, right, used today, like Python. Next comes Java, JavaScript, the other things. Most popular programming language used by top 25 unicorns. Python, next comes Java, JavaScript, right? Right. Python remains the most popular programming language. Python first, Java, next comes the other things, right? Yes. Popularity of programming language, Python, next Java. Right. If you see the usage of Python in the industry today, right? See this graph. The big circle for Python, right? 31% used. Java, 19% used, I said. C++ nearly 10%. C like nearly 7%. JavaScript 6.5, Ruby, right? If you see from year to year, right? If from the last 4-5 years, right? See this blue color one. Next this orange. Next this hash color. Next blue. It's increasing, right? Increasing graph. Java, you see 1 year increasing, the next it is decreasing, again increasing, right? In this way. It's not stable, right? And even like average salaries for Python and job openings for Python, right? Okay. Observe this average salaries for Python and job openings, right? Volume of job openings, Python stands first today, like in the job openings. Next comes SQL, Java, right? Average salary also, like Python. Next comes JavaScript. Next comes Java, right? So if I come to this course content, right, what I'm going to discuss as part of this course, right, from the basic level to the advanced application oriented way, right? So yes, just check this. Python, starting from this ground level to the advanced level, right? Yes, Python basics, why Python, history, applications, versions, installation, flavors, right? Python operations, right? Like Python modes, you can see that huge, like vast syllabus we will be discussing. Python editors and IDEs. In real time, we use IDEs, integrated development environments. I'm going to provide you the knowledge on all those IDEs, right? Like PyCharm, PyDev, Jupyter, that is Anaconda, Jupyter Notebook, Spider, Eclipse, NetBeans, VS Code, all these IDs, right? I'll be showing you, right? Installation, how to download step by step and how to install them, right? So like I also discussed like Anaconda distributions, Anaconda navigator, right? Operators in Python, Python IDs, Anaconda prompt, Anaconda navigator, Jupyter, Spider, right? Flow control statements in Python, if looping statements in Python, right? And strings in Python, string indexing, string slicing, string functions, string methods, string special characters, right? Lot of discussion on it. Collections in Python, right? List, tuples, sets, and dictionaries, like Python lists, Python list, right? Yes. List operations, list properties, list creation, list indexing, list slicing, list addresses, modifying a list. Similarly for tuples, similarly for sets, right? And dictionaries in Python, functions, functional programming, right? Define functions, argument types, default, non-default, keyword, non-keyword, and different types of functions like lambda functions, filter functions, map function, right? Modules in Python, right? How to import it, how to rename, how to reload, how to work with different types of modules, right? Package in Python, right? Yeah, errors and exception handling, file handling in Python, and object-oriented programming concepts with Python, right? In brief, like object inheritance, abstraction. Okay. Regular expressions, right? Extracting required data from the given data using regular expression patterns. And I'll database connectivity, database access, installation of one database also I'll show you, and working with different database related operations, right? Python date and time. And in this way, different types of models related to different domains. Some models related to data science, some related to big data, some related to operating system, some related to date time, some related to regular expression, some related to multi-threading, and some related to graphics, right? In this way, wide varieties of models we'll be discussing. And also how to create our own modules in Python. Operating system module, advanced concepts like iterator, generator, closures and decorators, GUI programming, and Excel workbook, data analytics, right? Introduction to this data science. And I'm also discussing Pandas model in brief, which is mostly used, right? But general usage and for DS, right? And also like NumPy, numerical Python, that model also in brief, right? And one more like matplotlib, plottings and visualize. This is what the Python course, right? Yes, in brief. All this will be discussed, nearly 30 topics in brief, right? Yes, and the people who go for full stack, total full stack with the framework, Python framework like Django applications creations, right? They can, Django is introduction frameworks, Django installation. Yes, Django templates, Django admin, Django models, advanced concepts. Apart from this Django, right? Then the knowledge required for developing, building web applications, right? UI technologies like HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, all this will be discussed. So if I come to this, right, just observe this. So everyone, you can attend the session tomorrow also same time using the same link, right, to see more on this. So only Python, right? Python, where I just like Python core, advanced and application oriented modules. So for Python, I'll be discussing nearly 70 hours, right? 70 to 75 hours. It takes like 2 to 2.5 months. 2 months to 2.5 months, right? Yes. And apart from this, if those who wants to go over Django, right? Yes. Framework, right? Django plus HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript. Plus at the last one project. So only for Python, right? Those who wants to update, only for Python, it is 70 hours, I'm saying, right? It's not like 40 or 45 hours. 70 hours later, 2 months to 2.5 months, we'll be discussing on this in brief, right? With the different modules. So that it's a offer batch. The fee structure is just 5K, 5,000 for this. And for all the remaining things, Django, HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, those who wants to update on this, it was previously the fee structure was 7K. Now it was decreased to 5K. Now combinedly, if you take as a package, right? So you are supposed to pay 10K, right? Which includes both Python, Django, HTML, all this part. But only Python is 5K, right? Yes. Right. So that's what you'll be getting. You can see in the chart panel, right? The online team has forwarded a big message, right? Related to the payment details, process, procedure, and this their mobile numbers, right? But tomorrow also you can attend the session, right, to see more on this Python. Okay, fine. I'll just show you some how this Python code looks compared with other programming, right? And if anybody wants to go with fast track, means you want, this takes 4 months. It takes 4 months, right? 2 months for this Python and also 2 months for this Django HTML. It takes 4 months. But after starting of Python within 10 days, or if any batch of this HTML, CSS, that is UI technology or Django stocks, you can attend parallelly, right? Weekend batches are available, weekdays batches are available. Once you enroll to my course, you can attend any of my course, right? That is Python, Django or UI technologies, like this. Fine. Any queries from your side, anyone, right? Any queries from your side, right? You can go with your queries now. So all the sessions will be interactive sessions. So you can unmute yourself and ask queries during the session, right? And every session is video recorded. You will be getting the recorded video, and the clear notes will be provided, soft copy of the notes, right, to your mail IDs, right? Fine. And yeah.
Will the sessions be
Pardon? Yes.
Where do you get the soft copies, the recordings of the lecture?
So the recorded videos will be forwarded to your Google Drives. So
Okay.
Google Drive, and that link will be given. If you open the link every day one video gets added into it.
Okay.
Yeah, will the sessions be offered only on the weekdays or also at the weekends?
Which one?
All these like classes,
So this
will they be
classes, this a
the
classes
weekdays?
is a, it's a regular batch, right? Daily it will be daily for 1 hour, right? Monday to Friday. Daily for 1 hour, Monday to Friday. Later, if I'm running out of time at the end of this, right? I'll take some Saturdays also, right? If possible.
Yeah,
And
okay.
this and the timings, let me confirm about the timings once again, right? As per the request of most of the students who are from the job holders and from the college, those who are from the different colleges, right? So this demos will go at 8 a.m. means for the next 3 4 days, 4 5 days, right? The demos will be at 8 a.m., right? Means whatever for first 4 5 days it will be at 8 a.m. but later the batch timing is at 7 a.m. in the morning. 7 a.m. in the morning, right? So from the next week onwards, right? That will be at 7 a.m. in the morning, 7 to 8 IST timing, right? From Monday to Friday, right? Yes.
Thank you.
Fine. So I'm making it clear before we go with the payment process, other things. So timing Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. batch. But tomorrow, everyone, you can join the session at 8 a.m., right? Using the same link. So for the next 4 to 5 days, it will be at 8 a.m., right? Any more queries you have got, right? Anyone?
8 a.m. CST or IST? I mean, EST? What will be the EST timing?
IST, whatever I talk is about Indian Standard Time.
Okay.
Same tomorrow also at 8 o'clock, but later from next week, it will be 1 hour early, right? Yeah. Any other queries, right? Anyone? Tomorrow session, I'll be briefing you about how the coding of Python, right? Some sample snippets, other things I'll be. Yes.
Hi, Vijay.
Yeah, yeah.
Vijay, I have one query.
Yes.
Which model you use for ETL pipelines?
So yes. So ETL kind of things, right? Yes. So I'm running some batches for this, right? Those people who are from ETL or big data background, right? So big data analytics, right? I've got some weekend batches for that big data analytics, right? So I'm just covering like Hadoop and Spark with Python, PySpark. So big data analytics, right? Hadoop and PySpark. So you asked for ETL kinds of things today, like mostly. So this they were what PySpark, very high speed processing, right? Where you are going to pull the data from different data sources, bringing to one environment where it can accommodate huge data and process that huge data. Like we have got like a Spark lightning fast tool, right? Like PySpark. So people, if anyone interested for this data analytics, right? Yes. So every like weekends, this weekend at 3:30 p.m., right? There is a demo, right? If anybody are interested, you can attend it. Data analytics. Fine. Okay. So any other
Today,
queries? Yes. Pardon?
today 3:30 p.m.
Not
Demo will
no.
be
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yes, it's a weekend batch. Only on Saturday and Sunday you'll have the sessions. 2.5 hours on Saturday, 2.5 hours on Sunday. This batch.
Hi Vijay.
Yes.
Like all these libraries and frameworks are open sources in Python, or do we need to pay something?
No. Python is an open source. Python language. Python is an open source, right? But we have got some. I said that there are some IDEs, integrated development environments, right?
Yeah.
Means the environment where you want to work with, right? So like
Yes.
we have got like PyCharm, Spider, Jupyter. Most of them are open source, but some are licensed. PyCharm is licensed, means the environment where you want to work with. But Python is an open source. Directly you can download and install Python in your Windows, right? So in the case of Linux environment, no need to install also, right? It's a pre-inbuilt. This Python already available with any Linux flavor like Red Hat or CentOS or Ubuntu, right? Python comes as inbuilt within this Linux. For Windows and Mac OS, We have got python.org website from where you can download and you can install. All these are mostly open source, but there are some IDs. So Python providing different IDs for different environments, right? For some environments, right? It's licensed, but not for all the environments. It's an open source.
Same way, the frameworks like Django, Hadoop.
Django is an open source. Django is an open source, right? Okay, fine.
So, like, means what are the open sources that provided by Python, or what is the percentage of the frameworks or libraries are open sources in the
So
Python?
all the libraries you can download and install. All the Python libraries you can install freely. It's not licensed. I'm talking about, if we talk about Python and Python libraries, all are open source. We can download and install freely, right? So how to do that? Everything I'll be briefing you, right? We have got a application like pip we're using, which we are going to download and install those. It's hardly takes 1 minute for installing Python. Hardly takes 1 minute to install any Python library.
Sorry to interrupt. What is the best where we can practice more Python? I mean, which application we have to download and practice, and which thing we have to do?
So I'll show you how to run this Python within the editors, how to run this Python code within the IDs, how to run on different platforms. I'll be discussing as part of our course, right? Every 10 days, I'll be showing you on one different ID. So tomorrow, if you want, if you go to any environment, you'll be able to work on it.
Okay, thank
So,
you.
is there MySQL in your syllabus?
Yes. So if you see this, right, 1 second. So I also show you installation of MySQL also, right? Can you see here installation of MySQL?
Okay, sir.
Installation, I'll show how to download it, how to install it, and how to connect, how Python can connect with it, how to perform how to create database users, installing and connecting, and different types of operations we perform, right, using database. Everything will be discussing.
Okay, sir.
And some models related to data science like pandas, numpy, matplotlib, and some related to big data, some related to OS, some related to graphics. All this will be covered, right? So you will get at the end of the course, you will get a great command how to explore any model of Python. Thousands of models we have got. Any model, how to explore, how to get the help on it, how to use it, different ways of importing, renaming it, reloading, all this you can, right? Okay, fine. So, yes, Venkatesh, right? Venkatesh, if apart from 7 a.m., is there any other timing for this Python batch? Means people, if anyone not able to prefer morning batch, right? There is an evening batch going to start after 1 week, right? At 7 p.m. in the evening on 15th of this month. On the 15th of this month, right? There is one more evening batch starts, right? So you can just check this website, right? Or you can just see the contact details given in the chat panel, right, of the online team to be in contact about this. Yeah. Yeah, someone was asking a query, right?
So hi Vijay, Abhijit here. So just I want to know, so how many how we will cover the concept wise program, how many program you will take for the each concept? Just for asking, I don't attend any language related classes now till now. So so just for this, how for the like dictionary concept, so how many we can take the programs or logical things?
So this is not everything in brief, right, in depth. So if we talk about dictionary properties, creations, operations, working with addresses, nested dictionaries, various method, one by one method, inserting deletions, various operations on this dictionaries.
Okay, so like interview questions programs, like they will cover, right?
So if you see that in Django applications creations, or if you see the previous batches, right?
Okay.
I will show you nearly 15 to 20 or more than 20 applications. If you see the previous Django apps creations, right? My project 1, 2, 3, 4, right? In this way, more than 20 means those who go for Django, right? And
Okay.
this any other, right? I will show you more than 20 applications creations in Django. And if you go to Python, right, if you see, if you see asked what is the depth, right, Python notes, if you see topic wise, if you see this input output, you asked about dictionaries, right? So what is the things, dictionary creations, dictionary elements, dictionary address, adding, removing, dictionary methods, everything.
Okay.
And if you talk all this, right, like for example, for loop, these are the things I covered in for loop, introduction to this.
Okay.
Or any topic, if you open, right, it will be in brief, lists in Python, right?
Okay.
With multiple examples, right? Yes. Okay.
Sure.
So these are all the topics, right, of this previous batch, Python 6 AM batch it is.
Okay.
Okay. And OOPS part 1, part 2, part 3 in this way, OOPS object-oriented programming. So all this. So clear notes will be provided, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah. Duration of the course is like 70 hours, I said, right? In brief, in depth, I'll be discussing. So Python core, Python advanced and application oriented models, all this will be covered for Python. There is 70 hours for only Python, I'm saying. And apart those who go for Django, right? Yes, it's again separate, like 50 hours, right? Totally, it will be 120 hours for Python and Django if you prefer. But people who wants Python and Django parallelly also, whenever I start any Django batch, immediately you can join that batch, right? If you want. Otherwise, one after the other also you can. So fine. So if I'm done with your queries, if there are no other queries, then I'll sign off for today. Meet you tomorrow at 8 AM, same today's time, right? With the same link. I'll meet you tomorrow. Thank you all for your time. Thank you.